All right, you bunch of yahoos, strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention. And welcome back to another episode of Toxic Masculinity, and where we are here to entertain, offend, defend anybody and everybody. So if you are a little, on the sissy side, better put on your man pants here because you're in for another big induction of toxic masculinity with my co-host here, the Predator, Don Frye, yours truly, Dan to be Severn, and we have the special guest here right now. I'm not certain. He needs actually probably 3 or 4 different introductions because we have,
Sybil make it fast, right?
Okay, when I first met him, I just knew him as Cactus Jack, but then they came out to being this Mankind, and then there's Dude Love, but he's simply known as Mick Foley.
Every Japanese wrestler wants the cauliflower.
Yeah. It was a status symbol. It was a cauliflower ear, broken nose, scar tissue above the eyes. It was a status symbol. And now you got fucking little girls going jiu-jitsu classes got a cauliflower ears, It's like, what the?
Yes. Yeah, I've seen the first females with the, they'll still have those 4 or 5 earrings in, but it looks like they put earrings into a pregnant ear because it's all puffed up and so.
You're like, man, it used to mean it's like a tattoo, He used to be a convict or a sailor,
Yeah. And now it's tough to tell what it means because everybody has one,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I realized when I got into wrestling and I'd see Dan, and Kurt, neither of you had the cauliflower. Kurt, you don't have cauliflower? No, I wore headgear. It was like, oh, so it's like you don't have to pretend to have it if you actually are really good at it, right? So
well, again, that's where you had the Steiner brothers that they would actually go out there wearing headgear. They used to go out there wearing the headgear and stuff of that nature. So it was all part of that. Their Michigan jackets. So they're just. What I loved about professional wrestling is just the different storylines that they would come up with, and then, the fact that you might have been a good guy, the baby face, something like this, but also it's kind of like you crossed over to the dark side.
That's
and
right.
Then, or you might have been a part of the dark side, and then you saw your evil ways, and and you came to be good again, or you go from a single action to where these 2 bad guys jump on you, another good guy runs in there, and also that tag team unites. I just love the simple storylines that professional wrestling had. I always looked at professional wrestling as a 3-ring circus with a side freak show, because the side freak show was, giants, midgets, and all kinds of anything in between.
They didn't have much storyline when I was working for New Japan. One night you and I would be wrestling together, and the next night Dan and I would be in a tag team match against you and Donnie,
right.
Or we would be on one night. You and I have tag team against Dan and Brandon. It's just like, what, where's the storyline? But
they never went with the far out storylines. All Japan and New Japan were all just based around
competition.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the IWA. I remember like the first time I met Leatherface. All of a sudden you hear this chainsaw get fired on up, and you hear the big roar, and you see him swinging around, and he's made somehow, I don't know how he's got the sparks are flying up, and people are like,
they're fleeing,
running away like Moses parting the sea. It was like the craziest thing I ever saw. And I think I think it was Tiger Ali Singh. He actually had like a big saber.
Yeah.
And then he would come out to the ring there, and a couple fans like grabbed him, stuff like this, and he actually swung his hand back.
Tiger
and he swung his hand back, hit them and knocked them on down, and they're like, oh no! They actually thought that was like, look at this, Mark, I just got this, and this was cool.
It was
cool.
It
was like, yeah.
So my first tour of Japan was 1991 with All Japan, and I get off the bus and I see people around with they have those plain cardboard. They're not cardboard, but they're like. They're writing. It's. I don't know what to explain because I've only seen it over there in Japan. It's meant for autographs,
right? Yeah.
But it's made out of
white placard.
White placard, and they're all bringing those up to you. And Tommy Billington, who is a legend over there, he just rears back, not all the way back, but just from about here, and he goes, boom, straight right to the fan's eye. And the guy staggers a little bit, takes a couple steps back, comes back, and goes, thank you. And I thought to myself, I am not in Kansas anymore, right? And then Stan Hansen was whipping around that chain like Brody used to do. And, fans know if they don't run, they're going to get hit. And that was part of the allure of it is, again, they get to play
even Antonio Inoki with that big open hands.
Oh, yeah.
But even that still goes on to this day to where he goes at the certain days and pow. It's like going,
Yeah, I remember Brian Johnson and I were there, with Gary Goodridge for, I don't know, Inoki Boom by A or something on New Year's Eve. And, we're backstage getting dressed, and Gary's like, what are you doing? He's in a hurry. He's like, I'm going to get slapped. Are you going to get slapped by Inoki? No, I've worked with him. I got slapped by 4. I don't want to do it again.
People line up to get slapped
for
by
hours,
Inoki, right?
For hours.
I mean, hopefully he's ambidextrous. I get tighter. You get that right arm that's overdeveloped. I got to go back left at it.
I mean, girls, grandmothers, you name it. He did not take it easy on any of them, man.
It's considered to be like a transfer of strength or something along those lines, right?
I don't know. I didn't get in line.
Well, when you talk about that, because I was at the Columbus, Ohio, just a couple months back there, and they had the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. But one of the things that they had on the big screen there that was taking place up on the stage was over in Russia, they had this slapping contest where literally open hall, and they aim right for that jawline right there and literally knock people right out with one big old open palm shot there like that. So that was, to watch that on the screen there, that was pretty crazy. So, stand there and you see some people they're tucking that chin way down there, so the chin's not sticking out. They're like, no, they gotta get that chin on up there just the way this same way, different that on that stuff.
Yeah, that, what is Hamburger Hill or Heartbreak Ridge? Lift your chin up, Clint Eastwood, big Swede.
That's right, with the big Swede. Yeah,
lift your chin up.
That was a good fight scene. Everyone assumed that Swede was going to get the best of him, right?
Yeah. I know that guy. He's a great guy, great actor.
Gunny. What was Eastwood's name in that?
Gunny Hightower.
Maybe, he talked even more gravelly.
Highway Gunny, right?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Sorry, Highway. That was it, I think.
Yeah.
But that was a good movie. Good movie. In wrestling history, I will go down as the first person that Stephanie McMahon slapped, and I told her, Stephanie, you can hit me as hard as you want. Just try to do it with your fingers and not your palm, and please don't hit me in the eardrum. Because Goto hit me in the eardrum one time and broke it, and then that whole match was like in slow motion, because all of a sudden you feel like you're underwater. And so once Stephanie saw, we can hit you as hard as I want, and then that became the bar was set pretty high, and man, she stung some people. Nobody was lining up to get slapped by her, but she wielded a pretty good slap in her day.
I did a match. I did a match with Josh Barnett, and we were tied up on the ground, slapping each other, and I busted his eardrum. And I still feel bad for it.
Yeah, right, man.
I'm just glad he didn't come after me.
So you were there a while for New Japan, right?
Don knows. Don knows that when it came to the stand-up stuff, I suck at the stand-up stuff. I literally used to always have open hands, stuff like that, to where I always look for pop shots on that because I was looking to perforate the inner eardrum to simply help destroy their sense of balance, stuff like that. So it's the different strategies for different people, for different folks. So
I thought it was more the scream that you would elicit that would disorient them. Ah!
This is what I have to tolerate all the time, there, okay? But that's all right. It's just like
Have you ever seen the "It's Still Real to Me" wrestling fan? He was.
I don't think I've seen that.
If you Google, if you especially go to YouTube, "It's Still Real to Me" in wrestling. It's a guy being interviewed by at a wrestling convention, and he breaks down into tears, and he asked Jim Cornette a question, and he says, "It's still real to me, damn it." And he's got his own T-shirts out, the Still Real to Me fan. So I go to a sports bar in Atlanta to watch you and Ken, the rematch.
Oh, that was a good one, huh? Jeez.
Yeah, you should have went to the buffet.
Every minute of that match you can recite now, huh?
It changed the face of UFC, right?
Yeah.
They changed rules after that one. But that was because Ken would never take the first shot, right? And he's waiting on you to shoot. And it was like, no, I'm not going to, Al Snow said he always waits for you. And so there was a lot of strategy.
A lot of waiting. Still waiting on that. We're still waiting on that fight.
See, Mick, Don doesn't understand when I said that. I was using professional psychology at that point in time, because when this match does not produce any real action, people are going to hate it.
You can't pronounce. You can't even spell professional psychology. Come on.
And when they start booing and stuff like this, how are you going to let the fans affect your performance? And literally, he was the point that he started to talk to me. He's like, come on. I'm thinking, dude, I can come to you, or you can come to me. That was the first time that they actually had time, that match we were getting set time. I got nothing but time to kill now.
Yeah, we're in Detroit. This is my hometown, boy.
The UFC, up to that point, when it was the no holds barred era, the average match was only 2 minutes and 22 seconds long.
Yeah,
a very violent 2 minutes and 22 seconds. But a lot of times you had Bill Superfoot Wallace and Kathy Long. They were like some of the commentators to this, and these matches went so quickly. They have no filler. They did not have all these interviews from before. They did not have any footage from you training and things of that nature. So they're like, they don't have nothing to talk about.
Jim Brown's working on the eighth of vodka,
Yeah, so it was definitely a learning curve to where now it's a very well-oiled machine, because they got so much previous footage on you to know that if any match goes short, they've got all kinds of
they got it filled. And also, you guys had that unique situation with the tournament where I'd say a quarter of the guys were getting hurt and not able to advance even if they won. So now you have a situation where somebody's just gone 20 minutes taking on somebody who's been resting up for for 2-3 hours. So, but
and again, that's not fair either. It's just a guy that just went to the meat grinder. So
right.
No, it's
but you don't want to be the guy who's sitting on his ass and gets called out, because you get called out that quick. You know, I mean, you don't get a chance to warm up, because they go like, okay, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, which is,
and there you go, right? That was a good time, learning all those things and being in on it. And then, after your era kind of waned in popularity, with all the, the rules and sanctions and whatnot. And then it came back. It's great that they still recognize you guys, though, for being pioneers.
Yeah. Well, we tried. Don tried to come up. I think Don or Tony or Brandon, they tried to come up with a couple of action figures on the backside right there. They ended up with the Mankind, and but they couldn't come up with the Dude Love one.
Yeah, be careful, because Tony sleeps with those
things.
Sleeps with
these.
So they might be a little stickier.
This is the more lifelike of the two. Mankind's looking a little too ripped to be me here.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself. I don't remember that.
There was no Mankind like that. I thought I went 12 years before I had my first action figure. I was so fulfilled. I thought, okay, I've had it. Never had any idea that the fans would be what collectors, and that people would have jump at the chance to have multiple copies. So I'm really grateful for that. I mean, it's been good.
Okay, what other? Okay, because you ended up, was it what? Was it the Royal Rumble that you went in as all three different characters?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
sure did.
That was Because they had to be a quick change artist. Because I mean, in order to do all three characters.
I wish I'd had Velcro on my boots because I wore the high boots that were up over the calves. They're about 17 inches. And so as soon as I got eliminated, I have to run back. And then I'd have to work on getting them undone. You know, I'd have somebody on the right, I'd be doing the left, or I'd be on the right, they'd be on the left. And then here comes those next pair of 17-inch boots, and I'd have to come running down that aisle like I was still ready to go. I was just looking to get eliminated as quickly as possible to buy myself some time to change outfits.
I still think that was cool, though, just to be able to enter a contest 3 different times.
It was.
3 different people.
It was a lot of fun. When my youngest son, Huey's 19 now, but he started becoming a fan when he was like 4. And my wife told me the news that he didn't think someone that looked like his dad could ever been one of those guys on TV. And so now a few months later, I'm trying to indoctrinate him, trying to show him big matches I had in the past. So Royal Rumble's coming up. He says, Dad, were you ever in the Royal Rumble? And I sank my teeth into it. I said, was I ever in it? I was in it 3 times in one night as 3 different characters. 4 years old, looks me in the eye and goes, and you still couldn't win?
That's fantastic.
But I participated. Wow. That's all that counts. I was in there 3 times.
I got my participation trophy, kid.
Right, brother, look at it.
Yeah.
Who was the best worker that you worked the best with?
To me, Terry Funk was the best pro wrestler ever because he combined a lot of different styles. So some people said he had 2 Hall of Fame careers. As a technical wrestler, then when he hit about 40 years old, he went middle-aged crazy. He became the best brawler, to me, in the history of wrestling. And he really made it easy to suspend disbelief to where I would tell, like, the ring announcer, look, man, you better run. And he'd say, like, why? This is an independent show. Here comes Terry. Not everybody's familiar with him. This is even as little as 5 years ago. You go, what do you mean I better run? I said, I'm just telling you better run. And the guy, to Terry, if he comes in all wild-eyed and that ring announcer doesn't sell for him, that makes it harder for the other fans to suspend their disbelief. And so Terry decks the guy, that big left hand up in the forehead. And after the match, I see the guy with an ice pack, and he says, I can't believe he hit me. I said, what part of you better run don't you understand? And so Terry, I thought, was the best of all time. But the guys that I had a chance to work with really regularly when I was in WWE was like the top of the top. It was Undertaker, it was Rock, it was Stone Cold, it was Triple H, it was Kane, and all those guys were fantastic.
Yeah, we're working on trying to get Austin here, I guess, after the WrestleMania.
Yeah, he would love it. He would love it.
Yeah.
He did what a great job he did at Mania too, right?
I didn't see it.
Oh, it was good. It was good. And they brought him out the second night. Please tell me you've seen the stunner that Vince McMahon took.
No, I didn't see it.
Let me put it this way. I was laughing so hard. So my son, the 20-year-old, he starts recording me probably about 40 seconds after I started laughing so hard that my back hurt. And so we just put up 22 seconds of me laughing at Vince's stunner, and it got over 1 million views. I think like 20,000 people looked at it, but they all looked at it 50 times.
Yeah.
It was just a thing of beauty. We try so hard to make everything we do perfect. And here's a move that goes as horribly wrong as a move can go. And it turns out to be many people's favorite WrestleMania moment.
Really?
Vince at 75 come in and take the worst and best stunner simultaneously. It was something else. Listen, I think I got to hit the road. I got to be at the House of Bards, but I really appreciate having the opportunity to talk to you guys.
Oh, I need you to do one more thing.
One more thing.
Throw your signature up there, your autograph up there, please.
Yeah, I'd be glad
we,
to.
Fucked around and only got Boss Rutan so far.
We
forgot to get everybody else. So you do whatever you want, partner. Because it's Dan's fault that we didn't get it established to begin with.
Well, I know. It's just, I'm so unpatriotic.
Hey,
yes.
you're 2,000 miles away. You're taking the blame.
You just gotta let me know next time that cuts into my salary. That I'll make sure that never gets missed.
That's it. Yeah. All right, thank you, sir.
But no, it's actually been a real pleasure there having you in here. Mick Foley, Dude Love, Mankind. It's really just awesome just to kind of reminisce over a couple different stories and being in sharing the same locker room and being on some shows there together. And just you've had a very incredible career, but the different facets, being a writer and just the different things that you did, and again, how you're able to continue on and now in a different capacity where, again, telling the story.
Thank
That's
you.
what professional wrestling was always about, telling a story, and now you're out there doing it once again.
Well, there was a great country song. I'm not sure if Don Williams or Waylon Jennings wrote it. It was called Amanda.
Yeah.
And there's a great line in there where he says, I finally hit 30 still wearing jeans. So I'm almost 57 still wearing sweatpants. And that's a point of pride for me that, I've been able to do well enough that I can kind of walk around, with a fanny pack and sweatpants as a 57-year-old man. So, yeah, thanks, guys, for having me on. I got to head over to that other venue now, but really appreciate having a chance to talk to two legends like yourselves.
Thank you, Bernard.
Okay, this basically concludes another episode of Toxic Masculinity. Hopefully that we haven't offended anyone too much here this evening, and if we did, so what? We don't care. Go boo-hoo yourself to sleep here tonight. But again, Mick Foley, appreciate you having you on here tonight. And to my co-host there, Don the Predator Frye, I will bid you adieu.
Adieu. Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.